Hola clase, this is Senora Sharon, and I am doing a test review for you. This is Chapter 2. In Chapter 2, you learned vocabulary class supplies. You learned the definite articles and the indefinite articles. Really, really quickly, you've got this in your interactive notebook. You've practiced this. There are masculine and feminine nouns. Masculine nouns typically end in O. Feminine nouns typically end in a, ta, dad, or sion. And that can help you somewhat. Probably 80% of nouns end in something in one of those. For the others, the unfortunate news is you just have to memorize them. But based on whether it's masculine or feminine, you need either a masculine or a feminine article. So definite articles, el and los are masculine. El is for a singular noun, los is for a plural noun. La and las are feminine. La is singular, los is plural. And those all mean the. El, la, los, and los. Those are the. To make a noun plural, remember you add S if it ends in a vowel, ES if it ends in a consonant. If it ends in a Z, you change the Z to a C, then add ES. Our one exception is sacapuntas. Sacapuntas is not a word, so just un sacapuntas or dos sacapuntas. So that word does not change. Indefinite articles mean a and some, a few, several. Un and una, those are the ones that mean a or an. Un is masculine, una is feminine. Unos and unas means some or a few or several. Unos is masculine, unas is feminine. If you need to review those, there are several activities in your ebook you can work on. The two destrezas that we did the other day, you might want to look back over those, make sure you understand why the answers are what they were. Also, YouTube is your friend if you need another review. So here's what to expect on your test. There are going to be 10 vocab questions, and it will have the English word and then 4 multiple choice options for the answer. So it might say door, and then you have option A, B, C, or D, which is the Spanish word for door. So go back through your vocab, your flashcards, play the games on Voces, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're ready for that. After that, there are going to be 5 questions on definite and indefinite articles. So it might say necesito blank lápices. And so then what you're looking at is the word lápices, and you would want to remember, it was el lápiz, so it was masculine, but now it's plural, so it's either los lápices or unos lápices, depending on whether I want the pencils or some pencils. So that would be I need probably some pencils. But you just need to know masculine, feminine, singular, plural. The one thing that I would spend some time on is the words that are not obvious, knowing whether they're masculine or feminine. So the words that don't end in o or a or tad or dad or sion. Check on those, make sure you know what they are. If you say el reloj often enough, la reloj does not sound right. So really, if you'll just say the words a whole lot, that'll help you out there. So that gets you through 15 questions. Then there are 5 questions where they're going to give you the word with the definite article, and you just need to know, is that masculine or is that feminine? Basically, el and los, masculine. La and las, feminine. If you know that, you're good to go. The more familiar you are with your vocabulary, the better. So after those 20 questions, you are going to have a reading section, and this is a shopping list for school supplies. So it's going to have 3 different classes in there. So la clase de matemáticas, la clase de español, la clase de arte, la clase de inglés. It's going to have 3 different classes in there. And then it's just going to have a list of supplies. And then underneath that, it will have some sentences in Spanish. So it might say, en la clase de arte, necesito unos lápices. And you would want to look at that, figure out that that means that in art class, I need some pencils. And so then you would look at that and you would say, okay, art class, was pencils on the list? Yes, it was. So that must be cierto, true. Or no, it wasn't on the list. That must be falso, false. So that is 5 questions, pretty simple. And then there are 5 questions that will go along with a listening thing. On the last test, there were 5 separate listening things. This is one listening thing that's 45 seconds long, and then there are 5 questions after it. So the thing you're listening to is going to be in Spanish. It's going to have school supplies and probably classes. I see some numbers on there, and you're just going to see in English some sentences. So you're hearing all this information in Spanish, and then maybe question number 26 says there are 25 students. And so then you need to decide, is that what you heard or is it not? Cierto or falso? So that is the multiple choice section of the test. I think you'll do well on it. Make sure you know your vocabulary. Also, there is one really important word that we talked about in this chapter. It means there is or there are. It is 3 letters long. It starts with an H. It is the word I. You spell it Hay. That is a very important word. I'm seeing that on the listening section. Also, that's going to come into play on the writing section. Speaking of the writing section, here's what to expect. For the writing section, it says introduce yourself and describe what is in your backpack. Name at least 5 things. Don't sound like a caveman. Use your articles. So what I mean by don't sound like a caveman, don't say, hi, my name is Barbara. In backpack, I have book. There is pencil. There is, I don't know. Don't do that. You want to say there are some pencils, or there is a pencil. There is a book. Don't say there is book. Yes, that's communicating, but this is an academic class. Make sure you get those articles in there. So review your articles. You are welcome to tell me that there are 5 books instead of there are some books or there is a book. But what is that word there is or there are? It is Hay. That's going to be a really helpful word. So I would suggest practicing this ahead of time. You're going to say, hi, I'm so-and-so. In my backpack, there is whatever there is, comma, something else, comma, something else. And you're going to give me 5 things. That is how you get 100. Make sure you know your vocabulary well enough to do that. I'm telling you ahead of time, if you can memorize 5 things, then you should be just fine. Make sure you know if they're masculine or feminine.